Hi, well, welcome. How's everybody doing? Good lunch? No lunch? I tried to get catering. They would not allow it, so I apologize. Thank you for joining us. My name is Luis Camino. I'm a technical product marketing manager, and I'm joined by my peer, Girish Raja. And together, we hope to give you an amazing demo experience and content for Office 365 and Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We're going to do more show than tell. I hope that's okay with you. So it's going to be demo, and less PowerPoint because I know how you guys feel about PowerPoint. So with that, let's kind of go over the agenda for today. I'm going to give a brief overview of Microsoft Dynamics as a whole. And again, we're going to do demo, and a nice session for Q&A where we hope it's very interactive. And we're also going to stick around at the end of the session in case we run out of time. And we have a hashtag on Twitter if you just simply want to submit your question there. We're going to monitor it and get back to you. So without further ado, let's get started. Key takeaways for today, 4 keywords. Remember these, please. Simple, familiar, immersive, and powerful. At the end of this session, this will resonate in how Office 365 and Microsoft Dynamics CRM interact together. Microsoft Dynamics. Some people ask me, is that CRM? Is that ERP? What is it? And so I figured that I put this introductory slide here where we kind of show why Microsoft is different than any other company out in the world. We are the only company that has individual productivity. That's our Office product solution. We have Microsoft Dynamics. That's why we're here too. It's our business solutions. And we also have, of course, Microsoft Azure, our flexible cloud platform. But under business solutions, Microsoft Dynamics, we have both ERP and customer engagement solutions for you. Under customer engagement, there are sales, service, marketing, social workloads, as well as a platform that we refer to as XRM, which I'm happy to do a session at 5 o'clock as well this afternoon, where we actually go deeper dive into that. So, Girish, you ready to do some demos?
All right. Let's do it. So, for the next 75 or 72 minutes, what we're going to show you is a whole bunch of things. Because I'm sure most of you are familiar with Office 365, right? Everybody knows Office 365. Anyone here that's new to CRM, never seen CRM, never used CRM? I mean Dynamics CRM? Yeah, good number. A few of you. So we're going to quickly run through a tour of the user experience, show you what Dynamics CRM is like. And I know some of you, we've had conversations in the booths. You've used prior versions of CRM, and you want to see what's new. So we're going to cover that as well. And just this week, right on time for Ignite, we rolled out the CRM Online Spring release. So that came out on Monday. So if you're an existing CRM customer, log into your environment, you'll see the ability to go run your own update. In fact, that's one of the key things. You are in control with Dynamics CRM. We have the customer-driven update. So that means we roll it out on Monday, but you get to pick when you want the update. Because if this is a busy week, if you have all of your salespeople here. By the way, are there any salespeople in the room? Just a couple of you. Okay. So I was going to trash talk salespeople, but now I can't do that anymore. But, well, what the hell? We'll do it anyways. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you the administrative experience. There's some of you in IT, right? IT, dev, number of you. Excellent. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you a few things. First is I want to show you the administration experience of CRM Online. And again, I know some of you are using our on-premises product or looking at on-premises product. It should be fairly similar. We have the same code base, the same engineering team building the same things. So everything that we talk about today is going to be applicable to on-premises too. The timelines might be different, but pretty much it's the same idea and the same products. So here I am in the Office 365 administration portal. And as an Office 365 subscriber, I've bought CRM Online as well. And guess what? It's unified into a single administration experience. There is no separate admin for CRM Online and separate admin for Office 365. It's one and the same. So as you can see here, when I look at the help, I can see CRM, I can see Exchange. It's all in the same portal. So if I'm using System Center, the same way. When I think about users, so imagine if you bought Office 365 and you decided you want to onboard your salespeople to CRM. It's as simple as going to your administrative console here, and I'm going to say, let's say Alicia, because let's say Alicia is a CFO, and she's really interested in CRM, and I want to onboard her into CRM. So when I go to the administrator portal, I'm going to choose on licenses. And you can see, she's enabled for Power BI, she's enabled for Office 365. And for me, as an IT admin, it's as easy as a checkbox. So I can say, yes, I want to enable Alicia for CRM Online. Hit save. And that's it. She's going to get an email saying, hey, you've been invited to CRM Online for your organization. And the beautiful thing is, because it's the same identity platform, she doesn't need an extra username and password for CRM Online. It's the same username and password that Alicia has been using for our Office 365. It's the same thing. Same goes for things like single sign-on. If you have already set up single sign-on for Office 365, guess what? You're already set up for single sign-on for CRM Online. You don't have to do anything special. Same goes for multi-factor authentication. If you want to authenticate using either an SMS message or a phone call as a secondary validation mechanism, it's all there. It's all ready for you. And if you don't have CRM Online, and if you're an Office 365 user, it's as simple as going to your subscription section. So all you have to do is, under your billing, subscriptions. In this case, it's going to show that I already have CRM Online. But all you have to do is to say, hey, I want to add an additional subscription, say new subscription. And then from the list of products that we offer, you can say CRM Online, and there you go. So there's different licenses of CRM Online that you can use, you can purchase, you can add, and all the things that you can do. And same goes for if you're buying through enterprise agreements, if you have other discounts and stuff like that, all of that applies. But all in all, from an administrative perspective, it's the same experience. It's one and the same. Now, how do I get to CRM from here? So we call this, in our team, the Rubik's Cube. Once you click on it, it's the new menu. I don't know what it's officially called. I'm sorry, by the way. But, you have your email, your calendar, your people, OneDrive, and CRM's right there. So it's same for admin, same for end users. You click on the top level nav item, you get to CRM. So in this case, I'm going to open CRM. And as an enterprise, I can have multiple instances of CRM. And I can have instances in different places. For example, if my company is headquartered in North America, I can have a North American instance. I can have an instance in Japan. And in fact, we have CRM Online in over 130 countries, serving from over 6 regions, including Japan and Australia that we added very recently. So it's going to come out from 6 different regions around the world. And as I said, I can have multiple instances. And as you can see, I can have production instances. I can have sandbox instances for testing. And I can copy an instance, create another image, or do a backup. Or I can reset it, if I'm playing with it, if I'm developing on it. And if something got really wrong, I can reset it. I can do all this great stuff. And you're going to hear more about these capabilities in the session that Lewis and Mike Carter is going to do at 5 o'clock this evening. Okay. So once I'm here, let's see what CRM looks like for people that have not seen CRM before. And again, for people that have already used CRM, we changed a few things in the navigation. For example, when I go up to the top navigation, there's 3 different modules, as you can see. There's sales, there's customer service, and there's marketing. That's what we ship out of the box. But you can build your own custom line of business applications with the same platform. So in this case, for example, I have a conference management system that manages the conference and giveaways. And we'll talk about giveaways towards the end of the session. Nothing fancy, but just a little bit. And but you can think of this, when you think about governments using CRM, government doesn't sell, but they use it for constituent management. They use it for case management and things like that. So CRM can do a variety of things. So in this case, I'm gonna show this as a salesperson. So I have all of the different objects I would need. I have my dashboards, my accounts, my contacts, leads, opportunities, and everything. So I'm going to go to the dashboards. Okay. Can everybody in the back hear me okay? Good, perfect, yes, just making sure. So dashboard, you can have multiple dashboards. So I can have my sales dashboard, but my customer service manager can have their own dashboards. We can have marketing. So you can create as many dashboards as you want to personalize what you want to see. So in this dashboard, I have my pipeline clearly in a chart. I have a list of activities that shows what's new. And if I scroll down, I can see that, hey, there's other charts. So it's showing me the leads by source. It's showing me the top opportunities. It's showing the list of activities, things I want to do. And I can completely personalize this. I can change this however I want. I can create a new dashboard for for myself, or I can create a new one for my entire team. I have the complete flexibility in how I want to do that. Now let's jump in and do a couple of things. So for existing customers that have asked about search, we now have global search. So I can come and say, hey, I want to search for Fabricam. And it's going to show me all the accounts, the contacts, and the leads, and the activities that corresponds to Fabricam. So I get it in a single snapshot. And I also have pin records. So if I typically, when we think about salespeople, we have, hundreds and maybe even millions of, records in CRM. But as an average salesperson, you guys know this, right? There's probably about a handful of accounts and opportunities that you go to on a regular basis. And you're not going to go browse through a list and listen, thousands of rows to get to what you want. So you can quickly pin records, and you can say, hey, this is an opportunity I'm working on. I'm going to jump into that opportunity directly. And once we get to the opportunity, this is our new screen layout. And it shows you a few things, because it tells me as a salesperson what I'm supposed to do. So in this deal, for example, I'm in stage 3 of 4. And if I do these 4 things, that's going to help me close the deal. So it's very clear. It tells me, what do I have to do? I have to identify a sales team. I have to develop a proposal. I've done other things already. And it's also showing me some key metrics, like, when's the deal closing? What's the estimated revenue? And I can, immediately edit. So if I think that I'm going to make more money out of this deal, I'm going to change it. I can, I can completely customize the screen however I want. And also, all the information, key information, like, the primary contact, the account, the currency, all the description is on the left. And in the middle of the screen, you have all the interactions. So all of the social posts around this, all the Yammer posts around this, all the activities like the emails, the phone calls, the tasks, and all of that's going to be here. And all of my notes, and even OneNote. So we seamlessly integrate with OneNote, and Louis is going to show that later in the session. And all of these interactions that I would typically do are in the middle section. And on the third column on the right, it shows me all the related information. So for example, it shows me the sales team, the competitors on the deal, and I get additional information like this. And this same screen layout applies for everything, including accounts, for example. So in this case, for example, if I open the Fabricam account, again, for the account, obviously there's no process for an account because I can create one by default. You typically go through a process for something like an opportunity or a service case. But in case of account, I get an aggregated roll up view of everything that I have in CRM. So I see all the contacts in the account. I see all the recent opportunities, the recently resolved cases. So if I'm an account manager, I get a 360-degree view of everything going on around in my account. So again, it's a very streamlined user interface, again, based upon a lot of research that we've done for many years. And we rolled out the new UI back in early 2013. So what this is going to really help you is simplify how to use the application. That's really the power of it. And what does it mean from an IT and a training perspective? You're standardizing your UI environment so it's seamless for your end users. It's been in IT. I've taken the support calls, so I know what it feels like, when you have to walk through an end user on how to use the application, especially when there's a challenge. But we make it simple for you. So this is really simple interface for you to interact with the application. We also have a phone version of this, a tablet version of this, completely, I should say, at no additional cost. So if you're a CRM user, you can use the tablet apps and phone apps for free. We got them for iPad, Android tablets, iPhone, Android, all devices, on Windows, of course. So it works in all these kind of environments. So that was the first quick whirlwind tour that I wanted to give you from a user interface perspective. But now let's switch gears and talk about the topic of the session, which is Office 365 and CRM. So how do we play in this? Again, what you saw was just the tip of the iceberg with what we were able to do with Dynamic CRM and the Office 365 Admin Center. But like I said, we have great integration with Outlook for email, tracking appointments, contacts, recurring appointments, tasks, everything you can imagine within Outlook. We have a wonderful integration with Excel. You have immersive Excel experience. You're going to see in a few minutes on how seamless you can go between Excel and CRM. We have a great add-on and templates for Power BI, so you'll be able to analyze the data. You'll be able to slice and dice and get all the intelligence out of the data. And we have integration with OneNote, as I mentioned earlier. Opportunities, your content, your information, your voice notes, and everything. We have great integration with OneDrive for Business, for sharing your documents, for using it with your marketing teams, your support teams, and collaborating on documents. Again, we didn't have to do all of this because Office 365 provides all of this. And I'm not done yet. We have integration with SharePoint, with the newsfeed and the documentation. We have native integration with Yammer for collaboration and have some social conversations in context of your opportunities and cases and everything. And of course, we have great integration with Office 365 groups that was shipped in I think earlier this week. And we have an integration already, so we'll show that later in the session as well. We have wonderful integration with Skype, personal Skype. So if you want to have screen sharing, video calls, phone calls with your customers, or within your organization, if you want to use Skype for Business, you can do that as well. So we integrate with everything in the Office ecosystem. And that's not it. We're not done. We only have 75 minutes. So what we're going to do in the next few minutes is show you a sample of some of these. But if you come by our booths later, we're going to show you a lot more. And Luis is going to talk a little bit about our roadmap. And again, this is as of May 2015. But we have a lot of stuff in our pipeline that we're going to share you over time. And we have some very exciting updates. So with that, let's jump into the next demo segment. So we're going to see a few things now. The first is tracking emails. Again, tracking emails is a very important thing when it comes to, what was I going to say? From a CRM perspective. Because, again, we're not talking about tracking emails like NSA. We're not looking to monitor your emails or anything. But in typical CRM systems, keeping everyone up to date and everyone on the same page is really critical. And especially for business users, they want to share the insights, the information that they get from different angles, and most commonly on email. So you want to be able to go from your email, seamlessly track that within CRM so that everybody in the account knows what's going on. So in this case, for example, here I have my iPhone. Again, this is really my iPhone. In fact, I keep telling this to people. One of my biggest accomplishments at Microsoft is having an iPhone for 5 years and still managed to get fired. But
I have one too.
But in this case, for example, I'm going to open up an email from Karen, and Karen's saying, hey, she talked to one of our customers. She's a big fan of our product, and she really has questions about a couple of things, and she wants to meet up. And again, in this case, say, for example, I'm sitting in a session, or I'm at the airport, or I'm on the flight, I'm looking at this, and I tell myself that, hey, I should track this in CRM, except for I'm never going to do that, because if the CRM is not in front of me, I'm never going to do that, right? But what we've done is, back in fall of 2014, we shipped an Exchange server-side synchronization. So Exchange and CRM can synchronize behind the scenes. And with the spring release, we've taken it one step further. So for me to say, I want to take this email, and I want to track this with one of my opportunities, and I've created a folder in my Exchange inbox. All I have to do is just move this email to that folder, and then it's automatically tracked with that opportunity. It's as simple as that. And we're going to talk about how do you map that in CRM in a minute. But take a look at this. I can have as many folders, as many structures I want. So in this case, I'm in a folder for the 6 orders opportunity. I have a folder for my Fabricam account. I can have any number of folders that I want, and it's just a matter of drag and drop. And I can also set up rules, for example. So I can say if I get an email from Karen going forward, I'm going to say it's a simple exchange rule. I can set it up in Outlook and say, make a copy or move all the emails from Karen to this folder, so it's automatically tracked. So I can do all the wonderful things possible through Outlook rules and seamlessly connect that to CRM. So now let's go take a look at what it looks like on the CRM side. Thank you. So when I log into CRM, and again, I'm going to go to the same environment. I'm going to come back here. So every user, because again, this is IT enabled, but individual user can have their own preferences. Because this is not Exchange administrator pushing down a bunch of folders to your inbox. That's not the case. I, as an individual user, I have the choice to set up my folders. And when I go to my personal options, under email, so this is personal options, email, and right there it says configure folder tracking rules. So I can click on that. And because this is already set up for me, it's showing me a mapping of saying, here's your Exchange folder, and this is what you want to track regarding in CRM. So I can add a new folder mapping. Again, it'll show me all the folders from my Exchange that we just saw. So in this case, I can pick a different folder. And I say, I want to map this folder to a record in CRM. So again, it shows me a list of accounts here, but I can track against a number of different entities. So I can track this against my account, my campaigns, my case, my contact, my opportunities, my orders, and everything that I can enable in CRM. So again, this is all possible through simple server-side sync. And again, this is intentionally asynchronous, meaning it synchronizes every couple minutes or so. So you may not immediately see the email that I just moved in CRM. It'll get there. But the power of this is also that I can do this even when I'm offline. So I can move my message. I could be in airplane mode, move my messages, and when I come back online, it's going to synchronize with Exchange. And in turn, it's going to synchronize with CRM as well. So it's as simple as that. So we want to make it really simple and powerful. So again, if I go to, say, for example, account, I already had a couple of emails on the account. Oh, boom, there's the email. And I can immediately see that email come up. And I can also see the newsletters, that's been shared. And again, if there are some scripts, we intentionally restrict scripts. But yeah, if there's images and stuff like that, you can expand and see the full-blown email if you want. So you get the flexibility of figuring out, hey, how you want to deal with your email. You can copy-paste content from your email to CRM, or you can just move it and have it seamlessly available for everybody in the account. But that's just the beginning. The next thing I'm going to show you is our brand new Outlook app. This is Dynamic CRM app for Outlook that we're going to be shipping in the Office store in the next few days. Now, this is taking email tracking one step further. Because with folder-based sync, you can just move an email, but you weren't able to set additional metadata. You weren't able to get the insight and context of what the email is all about. So let me show you. And again, I haven't opened this in a while, so it's going to probably time out. So we'll do this again. So the idea behind Outlook apps and Office app, I'm guessing everybody's familiar. If not, I'll show you a quick preview. Based upon the content, it will dynamically tell me. So in this case, it shows an app called just Dynamic CRM. But if I open up another email, it says, hey, there's 2 apps for this email. Because one of the things that Exchange is smart enough is to say it can read the content of the email, and it knows what apps that it should dynamically load. So in this case, it loads an app called Action Items, because it knows that there is an action item for me as a user. And this is really helpful. For example, when my boss sends me a 200-page email, I'm not going to read through the entire thing, right? But he'll ask me a question in the end, and if I don't answer, I'm in trouble, right? So this is really what that app is for. And in the same way, we have the Dynamic CRM app. I shouldn't say the same way. In a better way, we have the Dynamic CRM app. Now, what is Dynamic CRM app? And like I said, it's going to take a few seconds for it to load up the very first time, but then it's pretty seamless after that. Oh, there it goes. So it knows that the email's from Maria Campbell. and then it looks up CRM. So what you saw when it was loading was the app took the email address, contacted CRM, and it brought in all relevant information from CRM regarding this person. So it knows that Maria Campbell is already a contact. It brought in the appointments from CRM, saying, here's your last meeting, and here's your next upcoming meeting with Maria. And not just that, it also shows me, here's the service case that Fabricam, where Maria works. Here are all the open service cases for Maria. So if you're replying to her, remember that she's going to be wanting to know the status of your service cases. And here's all the opportunities associated with the account. So you get good insights. Again, you can completely customize what you want to see in this view. But this is quick insights. With just a click, I was able to get a lot more contextual information about the email. Now, if I want to track this in CRM, again, I have this one button that says track in CRM. And I can track this against multiple things. And that's the power of the app. So I can say, if this is Fabricam, I can search across. So now I can track this against Fabricam account. I can track against the contact Maria. I can track this against the lead. Or better yet, I can create new lead right here if I want, so if it's a new email. And I can also track this against opportunities. In fact, that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to search for an opportunity. And I'm going to say, hey, I want to track this with this opportunity. So what it's going to do, again, this is going to be done in an asynchronous fashion because it's using the Exchange server-side sync behind the scenes. And it's going to say, this is to be tracked regarding this opportunity. So in just a couple of minutes, it'll seamlessly upload the email to CRM. But it's not just doing that. It has a lot more intelligence. So for example, if I'm a sales guy and if I look at my inbox, and I'm going to say, hey, I know Maria, but I'm not going to look at her email again because there's 1 million orders. Someone wants 1 million orders. That's the one I'm going to pay attention to. Again, the app is smart enough. Now, when I load it, it's going to look up the email and say, Amy Alberts. Do we have an Amy Alberts in CRM? And it's going to come back and say, Amy Alberts was not found in CRM. Would you like to go create a contact in CRM? So just like that, I was able to look up CRM, find out information. And if I want to go out and create that contact, all I have to do is hit save. So with just a couple of tabs, I was able to go from an email, look up CRM, create a contact in CRM, and then I can associate this email with that contact if I want. So it's as simple as that. Again, same thing applies. I can quickly convert this to a lead, and I can do a whole bunch of other things as part of that. So that's the second thing that we saw, Dynamic CRM app for Outlook. It's going to be available in the next few days in the Office store, so look for our announcements on our official blogs. The third thing I want to show you is the brand new Office 365 groups. Some of you might have seen it in the keynote. Did anyone go to the Office 365 groups session by Christoph Fissinger yesterday? Great, a few of you. But I'm going to quickly run through the idea behind Office groups. It's people that have used distribution lists in the past. This is like distribution list plus, and it's really taking it to the cloud. So what Office 365 groups can give you is a shared environment for you to collaborate within your team or work across teams in a very seamless way. Now, we've been working with Office 365 group teams since day one. And we've enabled an integration that makes it seamless for you to collaborate, for example, in an opportunity. Because, salespeople will know this. It's not just one person selling a deal. It's usually, there's an account manager, there's a salesperson, there's somebody from the executive team as an executive sponsor, there's product engineers, there's manufacturing. There's a lot of people involved in making it a sale. Again, people might think that sales is an easy job. No, it's not. I'm sure there'll be 3 people applauding. Oh, come on. So what I'm going to do is, in this case, here's an opportunity in CRM. And if I want to go to the groups, all I have to do is click on this little drop-down and say Office 365 Groups. And it's going to load up a collaboration experience for this particular opportunity. Again, that's the key, is this is very personalized for this opportunity. So what I'm going to see, I'm going to just maximize the screen a little for real estate. So what I'm going to see here is it shows me a shared calendar. This is a shared calendar for this opportunity. So it shows me all the meetings that we have, like, for example, today and over the next few weeks. It's going to show me all the group conversations. Again, this is social interaction in the context of this opportunity. So I can have a thread here that says, For example, in this case, I posted a message about inventory reports. Someone got back to me. I can do all this interaction back and forth right here in context. And of course, that's not it. I also have a shared notebook for this opportunity. I also have shared documents through OneDrive and Office 365 groups. And last but not least, here's all the team members. Now, this is the interesting thing because this is not just users from CRM. Of course, I have the salesperson and I have the account executive coming in from CRM. But in this case, for example, I also have my manufacturing manager, who is not a CRM user, but I can still collaborate with them on this opportunity. And again, I'm going to quickly show this. So for example, if I want to add a member to this group, what it's going to do is it's going to open up Office 365 group. We're just surfacing the information within CRM. So I can add additional members here. So if I want to add it, say David, I want to say, yeah, oh, David's already there. So let's say, come on, yeah, so let's say Alicia. If I want to add Alicia to the group, then that's it. I just add the people that I want to add to the group, and they immediately have access to the entire group information. And this is not just the conversations, but as you can see, this is everything from Office 365 groups, conversations, files, calendar, notebook, documents, and everything. I have access to all of this through the Office 365 groups. Now, the key thing here is, from a CRM perspective, this is all available right within CRM. So as a salesperson or a marketing manager or a case representative, I don't care where this information comes from, but it's there right within CRM. Because, again, this is one of the things is, as a user, if I have to switch between 3 different apps, I'm lost, right? Like, I don't know where I was going. Oh, was it this tab? Was it this tab? And, oh, there's an alert on Facebook. Let me go check on it, right? That's what we typically do. But the reason for us to bring it all together is you can see everything in context in a single pane of glass, so you get the entire insight when you're working on the opportunity. So that's really the power of it. Is it's not really connecting for the sake of connecting, but bringing it together in a very seamless way. And I see there's an open question. So if you don't mind coming to the mic for questions, we would really appreciate it. So the question is, what happens when I add somebody to the sales team? Very great question. Thank you so much. Because
was Alicia added? Yeah. Was Alicia added? You added Alicia? Was she added to the group?
Oh, was she added to the group?
That's the question. So go back to the groups.
All right. So I'm going to go back to the groups. Come over here. Do a little refresh. It's going to take a few seconds. Maybe more than a few seconds. So the question is, does she go to the sales team in CRM as well? But the other way around is true. If I add somebody to the sales team, they automatically get added to the Office 365 groups. But the person that I add in an Office 365 group, they may not have access to CRM, right? We don't add them to the sales team. We don't do it the other way because that's intentional by design. Because if you want to add somebody to the sales team, you would go add them to the sales team. You won't go to the Office 365 group. But again, we're trying to bring the best of both worlds. That's really what it is. It's people in CRM, people in Office 365. How do you bring them together? So one more question. Would you mind talking on the mic, sir, please?
Why are you using conversations and not Yammer? Because you've integrated Yammer already in CRM in the other screen, and now we have conversations in this screen. And you have posts in CRM.
That
What's
is a
the
great
roadmap?
question, sir. There's 2 things I will say. One thing is, obviously at Microsoft, we believe in choice. So if you're an existing user of Yammer, you can continue to use Yammer. We work great with Yammer. If you want to use Office 365 groups conversation, you can absolutely do that. It's completely up to you. Because we believe that, as a customer, you have to have the choice. But on the other hand, if you go talk to Christoph Fissinger, who's running, and Amit Gupta, who ran the Office 365 group session yesterday, there's probably about 1,000 people that had the same question, right? Where did they go? Eventually, Yammer is going to be part of the Office 365 experience. They're going to be together, combined, so that you don't have to go to 2 different places to get context. they will seamlessly merge. And when Office 365 Groups does that, guess what? We automatically take advantage of it. There's nothing special that we will have to do to bring it together. But to answer your question directly, if you are already using Yammer, continue to use Yammer. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to use Office 365 Groups, continue to use that.
I went to Feisinger's presentation, and Yammer is part of groups. They're actively promoting Yammer as part of groups and conversations. You've decided not to have it on this screen. You've chosen CRM not to have Yammer on this screen. I don't understand what you're doing, because they are actually actively doing both.
So there's a couple of things. One, I want to be very clear about. One, there's few things that Office 365 Groups team is showing in their roadmap. So for example, when I go look in the Groups experience, Yammer is not there yet. You're right, absolutely, they will be. In fact, that was a preview of what they showed yesterday, was how Yammer is going to be here eventually. But in the production environment that we have today, Yammer is not there yet. And all of this is through the API. So it's not just having the Office 365 Groups environment, but having the API for applications like CRM or your own applications to connect to Office 365 Groups. So once that happens, we'll definitely integrate that. And again, we're already talking to them. We are tightly connected with the team to make sure that happens. But in the meantime, if you have any specific feedback or comments, love to chat with you afterwards and see where we can go. With that, I want to be conscious of time, and I want to hand it back to my co-presenter, Louis. And Louis is going to walk you through some amazing things. Louis, take it away.
All right. Let's see.
And I also want to say, if you have any questions, feel free to post them on the Twitter channel. And as Louis mentioned, we're going to be hanging out after the session as well. So feel free to come up after the session and ask away.
Excellent. Okay. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I thought this went off. So what I thought we'd cover today as well, in addition to all these amazing things you've shown, typically, and I know we have a few sales representatives here, I get a lot of questions on documents and SharePoint, and you have this thing called dynamic CRM. Obviously, we heard about Excel. There are a lot of Excel jockeys. I've met a lot of them. But typically, you want to do some data manipulation, some data analysis. What happens is if you're using Excel, if you're using, say, a CRM system, you actually have to jump into different solutions, right? Back and forth. So Alt-Tab really is your friend, right? OneNote, mobility, right? I'm assuming the sales people in this room will agree with me that sometimes they don't have time to get into the application, but they do have OneNote on their phone. They do have OneNote on their tablet. They get on a plane, and if you're as lucky as I am, every time I get on one, the Wi-Fi is so spotty that I feel like they just ripped me off. But I have OneNote. I can actually do what I need to do. Say I'm a salesman. I enter my information regarding, say, a potential deal I'm working with. And finally, when I land and I connect my phone, I can sync. And I never went into, say, my CRM system. So for me as a mobile user, this is amazing, right? Because it's giving me the opportunity to be mobile. In Power BI, I want to take a brief moment to kind of go over the power, no pun intended, of Power BI. So let's start. Sorry, let's see. I'm on 8. Okay. So what I'm showing you right now is, if you guys remember earlier, on what Microsoft Dynamics under the customer engagement section included. That includes sales, service, marketing, and social, right? But I also mentioned XRM. And that's really where we empower you guys to build line of business applications as well, right? So what I'm showing you here, it's a line of business application that is leveraging all of the native components that we have in Dynamic CRM, all the theming capabilities that we just released. I uploaded this image of Microsoft Ignite in our beautiful orange color to theme this application. So let's and Girish, you showed some of this already, I think from a documents perspective, but let's just say this system is a giving campaign management system. So I have donors, I have donations, I have employees, and what you're looking at right now is simply an event, a giving campaign that we have out there for people to donate money and bid on things, right? Okay, so what if I had very easily the power to simply say, okay, this is great. My event has these following documents that are coming from multiple locations. These happen to be in SharePoint. I can prove that by simply saying or clicking open in SharePoint. And so these documents are actually stored in a SharePoint library I created in Office 365 contextually under the record for that event, that giving campaign event that we just saw. And of course, because it's SharePoint, I can sync for offline use as well when I'm in that plane and I have no Wi-Fi. So what about Excel? People always ask me, you know, I'm tired of exporting. I'm tired of then copying and pasting. I understand. I feel your pain. I go through it as well. Luckily for us, I'm going to show you immersive Excel within the Dynamics product. So imagine that as an end user, this is my stuff. I called it my stuff. And basically, it's a personalized dashboard for me. That's part of the personalization capabilities that Girish mentioned earlier. I'm just happy to have a list, tabular data of active donations I am tracking for this event. But let's just pretend, or imagine, it's a better word, that I actually want to do some data analysis, immersive. Well, guess what? I didn't open Excel on my desktop. Excel Online is going to load up when Wi-Fi comes back. Wi-Fi keeps following me. Here it is. And let's assume that I'm an Excel jockey and I actually do some sort of weird formula calculation in here that tells me, oh my God, you know what? There's an error here, and this amount is not $250. This amount is $300, right? That formula, let's imagine it. After I do that, and again, we keep hearing the word asynchronous. That just means it's running in the background for a few seconds. There's an import job that then gets created. And when I refresh this, let's see if it's done importing. Okay, more than 2 seconds. I'll get back to that when that refreshes. I just showed the power of having immersive Excel experience, data manipulation inside Excel Online, but I never left my dynamic CRM product. Let's see. Okay, I promise you I will do this again at the end and show that this updated. So let's move on. Let's say OneNote. So my favorite example on OneNote. I'm on that plane. I actually have contextual OneNotes associated now within Dynamics CRM. And I can simply click on, I've created a giving campaign OneNote for me to track things as the owner of this record, right? And I can make updates. And I'll show you the example that now, I'm doing this online, right? But now I'm going to change. That's my other dashboard. I think I'm having refresh issues here. Now, let's say that I'm on that plane. And again, I have no Wi-Fi. I actually pinned my OneNote record, and now you saw updates just showed up, right? Just like that. It may be subtle here, But the power of this, I've actually used this quite often. It's a lifesaver for me. So let's not stop there. I want to continue on to the analytics piece here. And what I'm going to show you right here is a sample Power BI connected to Dynamic CRM dashboard under a retail analysis scenario. But besides the beautiful graphics and visualization, what I really want to show you is the power that we are giving you guys, the end users, to manipulate, to analyze, to leverage your own data to gain insight from your CRM system. So imagine that I basically said, show sales. I have about $9 million in sales. What if I say, show sales by store? And now immediately, you see how the visualizations are actually changing based on the question. As an end user, I am not a data scientist. I do have a computer science degree, but I'm not a data scientist. I just typed plain English, natural language. Show me sales by store. But you know what? I'm not satisfied with that. Maybe show me sales by state, because I have stores in multiple states. And I can see here that Ohio actually has the most sales. So I can actually then say, you know what? Show me sales in Ohio. And it's 2 million plus. Just like that. This data came from CRM. Now, we have multiple connectors. Dynamic CRM happens to be one, obviously. But if you wanted to, say, create more models to then query your data, here are some of the models that you can do. You can get data from, of course, Dynamic CRM. You can get data from other applications. And I'll scroll down just so that you can see that there are other options out there as well. But imagine this immersive experience as well. Now, with that, I think what I'd like to do now is take you guys into a sneak peek of something we believe is going to really help people make them more productive by leveraging the investments we've made in machine learning, predictive analytics. I want to show you, how many of you have heard of Office Delve? Okay, thank you. That's great. A lot of you. So you are somewhat familiar, or mostly familiar with what this is, right? It's really discovering information that's tailored for you, but really without spending any effort finding it. It's being pushed to you. And I'll give you an example, a sneak peek, on what this actually is going to look like in Dynamic CRM. It's the immersive experience where if I'm a salesperson and I'm working on an opportunity and I'm actually looking at my SharePoint documents as an example, Delve is actually going to suggest to me as a seller that I perhaps may want to look into some of these documents to help me through machine learning and predictive analytics. And with that, I talked a little bit about this on the key takeaways. I hope you guys agree with us on how simple, how familiar, how immersive, and how powerful Dynamic CRM, Office 365 are when they work together for you to make you more productive. I want to thank you for coming. We allowed a lot of time to make sure we open it up for Q&A. If you need to go, I understand. The Twitter hashtag is here. Submit your question at your earliest convenience. Girish and I will certainly return that question or answer that question for you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate your time.